It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Now, time for us to take an inspirational, motivational Monday turn this morning. Now, imagine doing this, being on a surfboard whilst being confined to this. Impossible, you say? Well, Dries Millard is a T8 paraplegic who's breaking boundaries and challenging the norms through promoting and teaching people with disabilities how to surf.
Former junior Springbok rugby player Dries Millard will represent South Africa at the first ever International Adaptive Surfing Contest in California, an opportunity to promote adaptive surfing.
7 years ago, between Paul and Worcester and the Torchcliffe Mountain Pass, there by the Huguenot Tunnel, a truck took the turn too wide in my lane and I had to swing out. My car went over the edge, and as the car tumbled, I fell out of the door, and with that, I broke my back, T8 complete. So I lost all feeling from my chest down.
2 years after his accident, Dries taught himself how to surf again as a qualified instructor and now an international adaptive surf athlete.
With the Adaptive Surf World Championships coming up, we thought it a good idea to host the 60-day Adaptive Surf Roadshow in order to promote the sport to more disabled people and to raise funds to go overseas.
Along with the multitude of surf training, Dries visited a number of schools to do motivational talks and share his passion for surfing.
The adaptive surfing has been a passion of mine for the past 5 years, and I think we're on the cusp of really promoting the sport and getting it big out there so that we have a bigger pool of surfers by next year for the next Adaptive Surf World Championships. People are so impressed and so overjoyed to see that we're doing this, and it's just been such an awesome experience. Everyone has just been so hands-down helping. I mean, we've got various sponsors and just throwing things at us to make it work. And I'm confident, I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Dries embodies a simple yet powerful ethos: move boundaries and change perspectives.
Well, not only is he an athlete with a dream and clearly tons of ambition, but he's here in studio this morning coming from straight, 60 hours of training by the sounds of it.
60 days.
60 days of unbelievably grueling training. Dries, first of all, welcome to the show, my brother. Great to have you here. I can see you doing a bit of reminiscing, looking at the journey that you've been on.
It's been so cool checking out the footage. That was actually shot 2 months ago when I just started the tour.
How different are you now?
Fitter, and I went out back on my home break yesterday for the first time. Read the whole thing completely differently. I just look at the wave completely different now from surfing new spots every day for 2 months. You know, you learn a lot from.
Does it feel weird not being in the water today?
Actually, yeah, it does. Well, not now. It's still dark out, so. But I'm frothing to get back in the water later today. Yeah.
So let's take a bit of a view backwards here. Now, we obviously got a bit of context as to how you ended up in the wheelchair in your current condition. A few years before that, obviously, you were living a very physical life as a very talented rugby player.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that mental shift. I know it's impossible to summate in a short amount of time, but what has it taken to get you to live a physical life again? What was that turning point in your life that said, okay, I've got to get back out there?
I think the most difficult thing was to accept everything that has happened, you know, and stop trying to live your life the way you used to, and just finding your own way and doing things differently, because things are different after an accident like that. And that was a biggest shift, you know, accepting things and finding your own way. And I think 7 years down the line, I think I can say I'm back where I was when it happened.
That is an incredible thing. Obviously, you don't get to achieve these feats alone. What has been the X factor for you? Yeah?
My mom and my dad, they're both champions in their own rights. And then my friends. I mean, friends and family, if they weren't for them, I don't think anyone can survive and live a normal, happy life without friends and family. And without my friends and family, I don't think I would ever be able to sit here today.
Well, I'm sure your friends and family are kind of cursing you because you set the bar pretty high. When you look at the challenge that you've thrown yourself into, why was it important for you to make this such a big message? As much as this is a personal journey, you're also putting something out there to the rest of the world.
For me, I mean, discovering how people look at you when you do things differently, when you look differently. You know, people are by nature very judgmental, and you don't really think about it, trying to help someone in a wheelchair without thinking that if you're helping this person by pushing him is actually not helping him so much. And that change, showing people that, you know, I might look like I'm having a hard time pushing an uphill, but look at these guys. You know, I can actually do it myself, you know. And we do a lot of talks at schools, motivational talks. We show the kids how to operate a wheelchair and tell them the difference between different types of disabilities, you know, because it's very important to remember that when you're in a wheelchair, it doesn't mean that you're blind, deaf and dumb. There's different things to different disabilities, and we teach people that. And slowly but surely, I think we've been making an impact, and people are talking a bit different about disabilities in general, you know, not just expecting them to be helped, you know, expecting greater things from them.
Or basically helping us get over ourselves.
Exactly, something like that as well. It can work too.
So what's next? Where do we take adaptive surfing? What is the greater goal here for you?
Well, now it's World Championships coming up in September. Actually doing a little bit of a fundraising. I broke one of my new boards.
Man.
So that's something I have to get sorted before we go.
It's the guns, dude.
No, it's just a new type of surfing, a new style. But my biggest goal for next year is dungeons. I want to be the first paraplegic surfer to surf dungeons. And the World Champs is just a stepping stone into that direction. And developing a board that can actually take the beating.
Oh man, well, we're going to start preparing one of our cameramen to film you taking dungeons.
Well, I can assure it's going to be something worth filming.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think your whole journey is something worth filming, and thank you so much for putting yourself out there in the way that you are. I know that a lot of kids have really received a lot of inspiration, but adults as well, I think, being forced to reassess our reality. Thank you so much for that.
No, it's a pleasure.
Just awesome to meet you, man. When your body tells you no, sometimes all you need is a willing spirit and a very open heart, and it is unbelievable to see an individual who is using both to make a change in the lives of so many. And I'm looking at the nods that I'm getting from the rest of the team here this morning, yeah?